There's an abundance when it comes to the standards. There's an abundance of resources. There's a platform where you can connect with other business owners and entrepreneurs and share ideas, learn from each other, and grow. This platform has so much to offer. Hi, I'm Karmali. Welcome to Karmali Exchange. Business owners need to help each other out. Keep on pushing to meet the needs of the customer will meet the needs of the business. Welcome to the Karmali Exchange. I'm Karmali, and we are here with the Better Business Bureau, the executives, the people in charge. We've got Mary O'Sullivan Anderson, the CEO and president of the Better Business Bureau, Riley Paterson, the chair, and Nate Edwards, the vice chair of the BBB. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Okay, so I'm going to pull this out right off the get-go. We actually took our team out on the street on 8th Avenue, nearby this office right now. And we asked the random people that came across and said, do you really know about the Better Business Bureau? Take a look at this clip and tell me what your thoughts are after we're done this one.
Have you heard of the Better Business Bureau?
I have heard of them.
Yes.
I have. Yes.
No, I haven't.
No.
Absolutely.
Have you ever used them?
No, I haven't.
Not quite sure what they are.
Not specifically, but I sometimes see on company websites their standing with the Better Business Bureau.
Actually, yeah, recently I used them for contracting for my house. I wanted to see if the company was a good company or not before I gave them quite a bit of my money.
Ooh. I never really thought about that before.
I go on Google.
I think I'd probably go on Google and just look up the business that way.
Yeah, probably Google or on Facebook.
How do you know if they're an ethical company?
I guess I wouldn't.
I don't know. I have no idea.
The ratings are not good, like 1 or 2 on Google, then I probably won't go for them.
If I'm Googling a new company that I haven't heard of, I will see if they've got a Better Business Bureau rating, and it's just one more data point when you're trying to get a picture of who a company is.
What a very interesting feedback, anecdotal, not scientifically done whatsoever. So I want to put that out there. But let's start with you, Mary. Let's give everybody here exactly who is the Better Business Bureau?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're any brand that's been around for more than 100 years, which Better Business Bureau has, the video doesn't surprise me. We're always going to have those that know BBB and are familiar with it and have used it, and those that are unsure. BBB, as I said, been around more than 100 years, locally here in Alberta, more than 70 years. And so we serve the market by working with both business and consumers to advance trust in the market. And when I say advanced trust, we work with consumers to find better businesses. That's really what we do in a nutshell.
Riley, when you saw the video, one of the questions that we asked is, well, how do you identify if a company is ethical, if they've got good standing? And Google's one of the first things that come up. What are your thoughts about people going to Google and relying on a search engine company that people can free-form information on or modify to get the results? As a business owner on the board for the Better Business Bureau, what are your thoughts about people using Google as their primary source?
Yeah, well, number one, I love when we do these types of experiments or when we ask people what the BBB is. I often do it through conversation, so I think it's an important exercise for us at the BBB. But to your question about people relying on Google, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Our role at the BBB is to provide the correct information to both consumers and businesses. You alluded to it, the fact that people can pay for reviews or ads or its friends may not necessarily paint a true picture of what that business is all about. And we eliminate that kind of variance or misinformation here at the BBB.
Now Nate, the concept of Google versus any other brand out there for proper understanding of a company, I think is very interesting. There's an accreditation process, and you being the vice chair on the board, many people don't realize that there's an accreditation process, and we should be using the BBB as a source to understand how ethical and what's the benefits of being part of the BBB. So from your perspective, being the vice chair on the board and being a business owner, so we have to put that out there as well. You're not only on the board, but you're also a business owner. The accreditation process, what's the benefits of being accredited by the Better Business Bureau?
Well, I think the primary benefit is, first and foremost, it signals to a consumer that you're a legitimate business. So you're a legitimate business that you have good business practices, good ethics, you're trustworthy in the marketplace. So the biggest benefit is all of those things. And when you look at all of those things, generally speaking, those elements lead to more word-of-mouth referrals. It leads to more business opportunities, more inquiries. So if you're a leader in your market that adheres to strict business practices, you're a legitimate business, you'll get more business.
And Mary, when we hear from Nate on the accreditation process, what are some of the key identifiers that business owners will benefit from by being accredited?
Yeah, I mean, reputation is one of them. So it's very easy to put your own brand out there, build a website, say that you can do what you do. But to have an independent third party actually screening to make sure that you're licensed, not only, competency licensing, but that you're actually licensed, you have experience, you have a track record. A third party that's looking at consumer interaction with you. What reviews are, not just with BBB, but across multiple platforms, who your brand is, and then how you show up. Having an independent third party that says, hey, I know Faisal and I trust him. That means something. And not only does it mean something, but if a business does something, whether that be unresponsive or advertise not in accordance with our accreditation standards or any number of reasons, even though they're an accredited business, they stand to lose their accreditation, right? So they need to become qualified when they become a new accredited business, but then they need to maintain that. We screen them at least annually, actually ongoing throughout the year, in order to make sure that they continue to meet the standards of accreditation.
Riley, there's so many consumers out there complaining about bad practices by businesses. And literally the feedback that you saw in the video was, I go to Facebook, I go to Google, I'll talk to whatever medium there is on the internet. As a business owner yourself, where do you see the Better Business Bureau needs to go to have a better reach or a better understanding amongst the public when it comes to accreditation, when it comes to the competition, literally Google and Facebook?
It's a very good question. I think from a business owner perspective, putting on that hat and looking at the accreditation, and as a board, we really want that accreditation to have the value. We want to get it to a point where you can't afford not to be accredited. And I encourage consumers to go, when they are looking for businesses, to look for that Better Business Bureau seal. We've been around for 100 years, and then to Mary's point, we're constantly vetting and making sure that businesses are adhering to the highest standards, which I think is very important.
Yeah, it is very important. And I'll give you a couple of examples where, when I've spoken to individuals, they consider the BBB a more business to consumer site. What I think business owners are missing out on is how this can be a B2B opportunity. When we hire vendors, we go through the Better Business Bureau's website. We ask, are you accredited? And if they're not, why not? And so that kind of gives us a bit more comfort before we do business with another business. So Mary, when you hear that there are business owners that don't always think of the BBB as a source for B2B interaction, what do you say about that? How do we get that out there more?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, because, oftentimes with very established businesses, they might have sort of reached that point that they feel that their brand speaks for itself, and it does. There's a lot of really great businesses. But the fact is, whether B2C or B2B, we're all humans in this marketplace. So even, I have 2 children who are entering the job market. And we have conversations at home about what it looks like to work for a trusted business. You want to make sure when you're looking for employment, when you're selecting vendors as part of your procurement, that you are choosing businesses that are trusted. They're going to make sure that they have internal processes and procedures, that, they prioritize what good business looks like in the market. And so even if you're a business that you might feel that your brand might speak for itself, I would encourage you to look at BBB. And even if you might not need it as a lead source per se, the fact that the accreditation dues, so those are the dues that the accredited businesses pay, that supports all of the services that we do. So maybe for you as a business owner, you might be more aligned with the fact that you're supporting the community education and outreach that we do to keep consumers safe. All of it connects to a much, wider sphere of influence when we look at the marketplace.
So Nate, let me give you the story that happened over the weekend. And I'm in front of a humongous turkey. I'm sitting with my cousin who's opened up his business 6 years ago. And I ask him, "Are you accredited?" And he goes, "With what?" And this is a basic, like a retail operation. And I said, "With the Better Business Bureau." He's like, "I never thought of that." I go, "You should get accredited." He goes, "How do I do that?" I go, tune into the show. So why don't we tell everybody, how does a company, or what steps do they have to go through to become accredited?
Yeah, there's 3 primary steps to obtain your accreditation. First, there's an application process. So it's generally simple in nature, but basically what you're doing is you're agreeing to a code of ethics and how you'll actually operate. So there's the application process. Then it goes to a review committee. The review committee makes sure that you comply with everything that the BBB stands for. And then once that review process is complete, then there, as Mary said earlier, then you have to pay your accreditation dues.
What are some of the codes that businesses are agreeing to do or to abide by when they get accredited?
Yeah, Mary, I'll defer to you on that one.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's 8 standards of accreditation, or 8 standards of trust. So that would be agreeing to advertising honestly. So anything that you put out, whether in print, social media, anything that you advertise, you do so honestly. Telling the truth, being transparent, being responsive. When marketplace disputes happen, be responsive in a way that represents the values of BBB and what you've agreed to. Safeguarding privacy. So that's anything from credit card information, employee information on companies that you work with. You want to make sure that you're safeguarding privacy, and embody integrity, which is a huge one. It's really acting with integrity. I think I covered all 8. Yes.
Perfect. Yeah. Yes. We've been talking about accreditation here, and Riley, before the show started, we kind of, there's more to it than just the accreditation itself. There's more to it. So Mary, let me go to you first. What else is it besides the accreditation itself?
Yeah, I mean, like every business, our programs, our products, our services continue to change and evolve based on the needs of our businesses. And so we are always making sure that we're delivering new programs to help support better business. So that might be our events. It might be our online BBB Learns, which give access to certification for many different courses for your employees in your business, access to just information on how to be a better business. There's a number of different programs that I know Riley and Nate have both been able to take advantage of as well. Some of our BBBs work with different funders and grants to be able to help support business. And then we're always making sure that we're connecting businesses with consumers. So beyond just the accreditation profile, we're actively in the market, making sure that we're connecting consumers with businesses.
What I've really found valuable is BBB being a channel to bring business owners together.
Yeah.
Whether we're in the same industry or not, and even if we are in the same industry, there's lots of room for us to play in the sandbox together. Same industry or not, we're all faced with same challenges or similar challenges as business owners. So being able to brainstorm and talk about them and just really aligning ourselves makes us better business owners and makes us a better business for consumers. Found a lot of value through that.
Check us out. There's a lot of value under the hood. And, as a board, it's our job to make sure that we're demonstrating and articulating the value, because it is far more than just an accreditation. So inquire, check it out, give us a call. We're happy to walk you through it.
If I was to label the Better Business Bureau into one word, I would say abundance. There's an abundance when it comes to the standards. There's an abundance of resources. There's a platform where you can connect with other business owners and entrepreneurs and share ideas, learn from each other, and grow. This platform has so much to offer. I think the word abundance is abundantly clear. Okay, I'm going to open up to all three of you. I want to get the dirt now, okay? This is the dirt part. Okay, what's the biggest complaints or most common complaints that consumers are making about businesses today? Everybody's looking at Mary.
It's hard to say. It's really hard to say because we look at not only the volume of complaints, the number of complaints, but we also look at different trends within industries. So I would say if I were to take a stab at what's the one thing, I would say it falls into communication. And so I say that because there could be complaints about trades, workmanship, deliveries, late deliveries. It could be a number of things. But if a business stops communicating or fails to communicate expectations reasonably on the front end. So what that might look like is trying to make a sale, but sort of leaving out that small print, even though you know that we're probably not going to deliver exactly like that, but we're going to sort of hold that back. It's going to show up in the complaint process. So being responsive on the front end looks like really good communication so that at the end of the day, the consumer can make the most informed decision before they give you $1.
So one tip or advice that you may suggest in this is front load your communication. Make sure that you're transparent, yes. You're over communicating, is that fair to say? You kind of give what the expectation is going to be and maybe under promise, over deliver right off the get-go. Is that a fair starting point for businesses as a tip?
Yeah, I would say that's a fair starting point. And the only other one that I might add to that is empowering your front line. So having those conversations within the business on why it matters, like why do we do this, why it matters, and then empowering your front line so that if a dispute comes up, your front line, so whether that be your inside sales, operations, whatever that looks like, they feel empowered to be able to make things right. There's obviously some limitations there, but when we're looking at being responsive and communicating in a way that builds trust, those are all the variables that we sort of want to see.
What would you say with the move to e-commerce or purchasing online and the complaints that come in? What are some of the key things that business owners can take away by learning from those complaints when it comes to being online? Because now you're not storefront, you're not face-to-face, you're not even over the phone, generally speaking. It's click, buy, and then something goes not in the right direction. What would you suggest is something that business owners can learn from that process?
So advertising honestly. So anything that you are putting on your site, making sure that it's easy to find the information. You just worked with somebody a while ago that always said, make that small print really large. So even if it's something that might cost you a sale, make it large all the time. Make sure that they know so that consumers can make the most informed decision. Don't misrepresent what the item is, what the product is, what the service is, because you'll end up with just more issues after the fact. And safeguarding privacy. If you are online, make sure that any information that you are gathering is safe and protected. Consumers want to know that.
Now, Nate and Riley, both of you as business owners, what are some of the tips that you would give to entrepreneurs and business owners today that they need to have as a minimum table stakes in order to maintain and grow that client base, that customer base? Because you've both done this in your respective businesses using a certain standard of ethics or values.
I think the first thing is communication, but the deliverable. The consumer, at the end of the day, is always right. We're providing a service or a product to them, and that's their expectation. So delivering on it, I think, is crucial. I think it is important, too, for business owners, if you can, sleep at night knowing a decision that you made, that's probably the right decision. If you can't, might not be the right decision, right? So really focusing on ethics.
Nate, the hard one's to you. You can't say the same thing as him. How about that?
Yeah, no, I would definitely back that statement up. I think, for us, in order for us to deliver the experience that we deliver, we really rely on a lot of partners to do that. So, for us, engaging with another accredited business to actually guarantee the delivery, it gives us peace of mind. We know that if something goes wrong, and if you're dealing with a business partner who isn't accredited, there's a lot of risk in that. So there's a lot of inefficiencies in our internal business if we don't align ourselves with the right partner. So let's all do business at the same way. Let's do it right the first time. And that's how everybody wins. So the second there's that moment of pointing fingers or not executing on what was promised, that's where the inefficiencies of business just drags you down for both you, your client, and your other business partner.
Mary, I need 2 tips for every business owner watching. Everything that you're doing right now, stop. Don't do anything else. Get onto the website for the Better Business Bureau, but you have to get accredited. 2 things that every business owner needs to do right now if they're not part of the Better Business Bureau.
Yeah, so 2 things. So go online, bbb.org. Up in the top right-hand corner, there's a link to get accredited. At minimum, get your profile, claim your profile. So what that means is we report on businesses, whether accredited or not. We provide all of our dispute resolution services to businesses, whether they're accredited or not. And even if you're a business that you think you might not qualify for accreditation, reach out to us. We'll walk you through it. And that's the important part of the work that we do is we continue to work with businesses to create better businesses.
There's a lot of shady shit out there. Yeah. I'm being straight up with you right now. If you don't have the accreditation, if you don't have the backing of the Better Business Bureau, you could be in the same group as all the shady people out there right now. So make sure you get that accreditation. Make sure you go to betterbusiness.org. Mary, Riley, Nate, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for watching the Karmali Exchange. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. You can also follow me on social media at Faisal Karmali, where we can continue the business conversation.